Good morning, and thank you for coming this morning. Please silence all your cell phones, please. And for those of you who can stand up, let's please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I see we have some relatively new people in the audience today. We'd like to welcome them. I see Alicia and Peter Sarna. They're in the back room there, back of the room, waving. And Carolyn McAllister, she's sitting in the front row here. Carolyn, thank you for standing. 4 days. Margot, can we ask you to come up here, please? Margot, she wants to sit in the back, but we'd like to sit up front here. The latecomers always have to sit in the front row. Thank you. Here, we'll call the meeting to order and have the secretary do the roll call. Please, Bob.
President George Kempner.
I'm here.
Vice President Angela Fitt.
Here.
Treasurer Wayne Schweifler.
Here.
And the Secretary Bob Quinnery. Members at large Beverly Adair, Karen Dorr, and Pat Niemeyer.
Here.
All present.
Bob, you want to do the minutes of the last meeting?
Yes, I appreciate having a motion to approve the minutes of the October meeting. You've all seen it. You have a motion? Okay. If there are no objections, we'll consider the minutes approved. Thank you.
The next on the agenda is the treasurer's report. Wayne Schweifler, please.
Okay. Treasurer's report covers the month of October, and we had a beginning balance of $11,513.71. Expenses of $1,097.97. Actually, part of that was a transfer from one fund to another. And the same for income donations was $1,141. And basically what we did is we transferred $1,000 from the happy hour fund to the library fund. And that's basically the purpose of the happy hour fund, is to fund library purchases. Other than that, there were expenses of $97.97 for the library, and the rest of it were just transfers. And income from the happy hour fund, $41, and the rest was a transfer. So October is kind of a quiet month. November is going to be wholly different. And we wanted to thank all of you who've already made your generous contributions to the Holiday Gift Fund. And if you have not yet donated and intend to do so, we would ask that you make your donation by next week, if possible. This is actually the easiest part of it. The rest of our work is yet to come. George is going to give you a little more details as to where we stand on the donations to date. Any other questions? Thank you.
Following up on what Wayne has just said about the holiday gift fund, in fact, this afternoon we will be delivering reminders to those people. Some of us seem to forget things, so we're going to get reminders out this afternoon to make sure. So far we've received only 39% of answers or donations to the initial letter which was sent or put on the doors on November 1st. And just to give you some information as to what we have done in the past, last year we had a total of $62,566 collected. And the year before we had $73,695. But 10,000 of that was for a carryover from the previous year. So we've been right in that $60,000 range for the last 3 years. So it seems like we're going to be close to that again. So far we have almost 37,000 income received so far. So again, as Wayne said, please, the date that we need these in by is November 23rd. That's only a week from tomorrow. So. A few other quick announcements while I'm up here. The Thanksgiving dining room reservations. Everyone must register in the book that is on the table next to the podium in the dining room for Thanksgiving Day dinner reservations. So please, if you're going to be joining us for dinner on Thanksgiving, put your name on that reservation book.
Even if it's just one?
Even if it's just one, they need your name down there so that they have a idea as to where they're going to seat you. Okay? So please, don't overlook that. And everyone must register.
9 and 11, or 11 and 1?
I think so, yes.
Was it 2 times?
11 and 1. Okay, now for some further committee reports. Let's hear from Karen, please.
Welcome. Welcome. Feels better. And thank you for coming. I attended the Special Events Committee meeting that was held on November 7th. And all members were in attendance except for Jan Brault and Beverly Finch, who were both excused. Also attending was Vanessa Villalobos, Activities Director, VP Angela Fitch, and myself. We went over the October and November activities and events with very little comments. And then most of the meeting was about ideas to get people out to more of the activities and events. A couple of the ideas that came up was more out there advertising, such as large posters of one event at a time being posted at the dining room and at CC's cafeteria or cafe. Also, prizes for those games like cornhole and charades, etc. Also mentioned was maybe we could go through the calendar and delete those activities that were no longer being attended. And we discussed ways of helping Vanessa, maybe having the committee members assigned to a particular event or activity to set up follow-up, just to answer questions from residents. This is going to be continued discussion at our next meeting because we ran out of time to fully make any decisions or any further discussion. We adjourned the meeting then, and our next meeting will be December 5th in the Belva Dickinson Lounge at 11 o'clock. Before I leave, though, I want to remind everybody of some of the upcoming events in the latter part of November. Today is the final Castaways performance at 3 o'clock in the auditorium, which has been really fun and a lot of laughs. Also coming up November 20th, again here in the auditorium, 2 o'clock. That is on November 20th, which is a Sunday, is Ken Green. He's a well-known guitarist and storyteller here in the Valley. I understand he has been here before, prior to the pandemic, and was well-liked and attended. Of course, we have Thanksgiving Day brunch, and also on that day is the Macy's Day Parade here in the auditorium at 9 a.m. in the morning. Final thing I want to say is Kempner's bucket list trip, which this time is Germany, and those are always fantastic. That's just a few of the remaining things in November, so hopefully everybody gets out and joins us. Thank you. Are there any questions? Yes.
I thought you might want to mention this as being one of the activities.
What is that, Ian?
This is the Van Gogh.
Oh, Van Gogh.
Yeah, Van Gogh.
I haven't gotten that.
Just came out today.
Over there.
Just came out.
There's a Van Gogh art show at, I believe it's the Empire Polo Grounds, that I also understand is fantastic.
It is. It's wonderful.
Several people have gone there, and
You need tickets. You need reservation.
okay, there is Vanessa. Yes. Wednesday, December 14th, we're going to have transportation to the performance, and you need to purchase tickets. They're $39.99 online in order to go, but you would meet at 10:30 in the main lobby on Wednesday the 14th if you would like to go.
I had a question about that.
That's
Because
tomorrow.
if we certainly need to know how many people are going to be able to be transported there, because we don't want to buy our tickets if we can't get there. And that isn't clear from that.
No, it's not clear. Normally the bus takes 12. Oh, it's December 14th. I was going to say November 14th is gone. But if anybody's interested, I'm sure one of us up here, the council members, or one of the special events committee members can assist you in purchasing tickets if you want to do that.
Vanessa can help with that.
And Vanessa can also help.
But if you're more than 12, we can form another group because they only take small group at a time. It's not crowded there.
She doesn't say on her note whether there's sign up or anything either. I would imagine there is.
There's a sign sign up over by, on the main, by the dining room, there's a paper there on the sign up.
For Van Gogh?
For Van Gogh.
Okay. Thank you, Betty. Okay, any more? Yes, sure.
Are there any plans for the trip to the polo fields after the first of the year?
Not that we talked about this last meeting.
Vanessa is gonna contact them and find a date when they could go. Because they need to make reservations for the pavilions.
Are you sure they're playing polo this year?
As far as we know, they're playing polo.
Starting in January.
Yeah, January through March. And I'm sure they are playing. They did last year during the pandemic, so.
Any other questions? There's an arm up back there.
Yes?
I don't have a question, I just have a comment to add to your mentioning the Castaways performance. This is not the final performance, this is just the final performance for this season.
You mean this isn't a death of a salesman or anything like that? Insured.
Are in the audience today here at your meeting, and I don't want them to walk away in tears.
Thank you, Max. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Max, for correcting me.
Any other questions for Karen? Thank you. Oh, one more.
One more.
Will we be getting a tour of the Christmas lights this season?
Will there be a tour of the Christmas lights this season is the question.
I believe that is one thing that's on the list.
Any others? Thank you. Angela, please. Oh, I've just been reminded that the audience needs to be wearing masks, so please put these on.
I wonder.
Nestor Torres joined us at our Building and Grounds Committee meeting, which was very extensive, and I'm giving just a few of the highlights of things we covered. The maintenance people are working on the outdoor lighting of the parking lots, carports, and the seated courtyards. And the outdoor lighting will be changed to the winter schedule. It should be done this week. The CC's pool temperature sensor was replaced, and it's now set to 93 degrees. One AC cooling tower is still awaiting repair. And there has been a request to make the barbecue grills that we have in the casita courtyards available for use. They were all tested, and some needed parts which are unavailable, and so it was determined that none of those will be available for use. However, Nestor does have a portable barbecue unit. So if you're planning any kind of a courtyard barbecue event and you need to have barbecue as opposed to other kinds of refreshments, contact Nestor and that can be brought over. The trees throughout the community will be trimmed in December. Some of the ant treatments that were put in by Orkin were then removed or damaged when the lawn scalping was done. So they're going to be treated again in 2 weeks. 2 grocery carts needed replacing, so Nestor is getting quotes along with the reminder that if they're used, taken to your apartment, they should be returned to the doorway as soon as possible so that somebody else can take advantage of them. We're still searching for additional maintenance staff. because the maintenance can receive as many as 40 work requests in one day. And that's a lot for the two people that are currently working with plus Nestor. So of course the work orders need to be prioritized, which means that when we put in, if it's not critical, there may be quite a wait at this point until we get additional personnel. And temporarily, Nestor is having a schedule that someone will be available for emergencies at least all 7 days. He reported that the housekeeping staff at current is sufficient to cover all the regular schedules, but additional help could be beneficial for additional requests and those people that want additional services beyond the every 2 weeks. And finally, several major building projects for both indoor and outdoor are being considered, but they're subject to budget approval. So as they are approved and scheduled, we'll be hearing about them. Any questions? Yes.
What about the pest control problem? How's that going?
The rodent problem,
Rodents.
the rodents.
I don't know. Ron, can you address pest control problem? He cannot.
They're running wild, multiplying.
I think there's a lot more focus on the pests right now. When we look back at this time of year, every year there's more activity because they're outdoors, and the scalping that went on at the neighboring golf course drove some of it here, and then we scalped. We weren't going to, but we did. So the number of rodents reported is consistent with what we see every year. We're just much more vigilant or hyper vigilant about it right now. I have put Orkin on notice for this and for a couple other issues that I'm not happy with, and we're looking at another pest control company coming in. So, yeah.
I thought, did I read it, or was it at a meeting previously that was talked about they were going to come around to each apartment?
That's one of the reasons they're on notice, because they're dragging their feet. They're working with the Coachella Valley Water District right now, because apparently there's a rodent problem in the sewers.
Oh, and they're all open right up on the whole list.
Right, and so there's a treatment that they can do in the sewers that reduces it, and they believe that some of the problems we're having here are coming up through the pipes. And
Take your shower.
just cause. So we're on it, and continue to report anything you suspect so that we can get after it.
I have a question as well, as long as you're here, and this is sort of building and grounds in a sense, but I've talked to the mayor of Palm Desert twice, and maybe you have some information of why our street is closed for so long and so little work being done to complete it.
I have no idea. Absolutely none. When they originally started, they said it was going to be at least through December. And what they're doing on Hoveley is putting in purple piping or reclamation water for that's going around all the golf courses. It was an initiative that was passed a while back. So it's until they get all that finished, it'll remain closed over here.
Thank you, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
Pat, Imar, please tell us about dining services. Don't throw anything at it.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. Yep. I don't have much to report, but we do have one thing that we're trying to do. Cheryl is helping us. We're going to put together a volunteer program to help out in the dining room. And what we would be doing mostly is requesting people to work 1 hour per week. And we would be working from 4:30 to 5:30 or 5:30 to 6:30. And we would be at the desk, sitting at the desk and checking in people and their unit number and then giving them a table to go to. And thought this might help. You know, we used to have a hostess and we don't have that anymore. So we could do that, and the only other things that we could do is we could fold some napkins or whatever they need, you know, if people wanted, if they wanted to. And so if anybody wants to volunteer, they can call Cheryl, and I think Ron is even taking volunteers for that. So, and I can let you know next time what's going on. So, any questions?
Yeah. Yes. Are there any other volunteers needed to maybe help with the menus?
I didn't hear.
Are there any people in the room who would be willing to help with stuffing menus into the folders, menu folders?
Okay, I'll tell you what, if you would come up and give me your name, and I will pass it along, okay? So, thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
How are we doing with getting new servers? Are they interviewing more people? Are they having anyone come along?
My last report I heard was that there were some servers that were on the waiting list, a server that was on the waiting list. And I believe I heard that there was some people being interviewed for the director.
Pat, I can take it.
Yes.
So, you all, if you've been to the dining room, you met Wilbert, who is our newest hire. He works only like 4 days a week that he's here. We had Ashante, Wilbert that are hired. Ashante is terrific. There is a new server in orientation today who is coming to us. She's the daughter of somebody who works here. There are 2 servers who are in the background process. And when you're saying waiting list, they're in that holding period where they have to have their background approved by the Department of Justice and the FBI. FBI clearance to be a server. And so your meals will be safe. And then Lori has resent an email blast to everybody who's applied to be a server for the past 2 years. We had 137 responses to that. And we had to go through and whittle them all down because the majority of them were not COVID vaccinated, and other ones we knew would not pass a background. So from that 137 responses, there were like 20 that were viable. Wow. So we're going through the process of getting those interviewed and seeing if they're still interested, that sort of thing. So it's on the top of everybody's radar. Nobody more so than mine. I'm ready to hang up my apron. But so we're working on that. For the director position, we have 2 very good candidates. One coming from like Alabama or over there. His wife works here as a nurse at Desert Regional, and he's waiting to get a job in order to move here. He comes from a background in senior housing, senior care, so he understands it very well. The second candidate is from San Diego and has family here and wants to move out here and is also waiting until he gets a job for that. They both have very different skills. One is very, very back of the house, the production and food production based. The other is very front of the house. And so we were kind of in a dilemma. I passed both of them on to our regional food service consultant, to interview and said, these are my impressions. He came back with exactly the same impressions. I said, you're no help. So we're going to make a decision. So what we're doing right now is offering the jobs to both of them. And because we still have the chef position open, and so offering it as a co-director position where they would be front and back of the house together. So, fingers crossed. And that way, if one of them doesn't work out, we have a spare. No, they both work out.
Thank you, Ron.
Okay?
Are there any other questions?
Yeah.
Is Miguel back?
Miguel is back.
Where is he?
He's in the kitchen.
Right. But like, is he at Cece's or?
No, he's in the main kitchen.
Uh-huh.
So, yes, we like to say he has seen the error of his ways and he has come back to the fold. And he's thrilled to be back. So we're real happy about that.
It's like 4 o'clock, notice that sometimes they're waiting on very well. But last night, for instance, we waited an hour and a half waiting for anyone to come to our table. And I think some of it is the news coming out takes time. But I do want to say we appreciate the employees what you have done for us. But there's still a little help.
Okay. Well, we'll look at that.
We're working on it.
So.
Anything, another question in the back?
Do I understand that in the new plan, people coming into the dining room would be assigned a table?
Not necessarily, they would be given a number, and that number signifies the order that they have arrived in the dining room, so that someone who's been there for a while will get served quicker or first before someone with 4 or 5 numbers higher. Again, the problem here is we need some more volunteers to fill these people that we need. Thank you, Pat. Are there any other questions for Pat?
Yeah, so the one thing to clarify, the volunteers in the dining room cannot touch food. So you're not expected to serve, you can't, plate soup, those kinds of things. It's just the things that would support the kitchen.
Like water and wine?
Really not water and wine either.
What can they do?
It's working at the hostess station, checking people in, helping fold napkins, maybe set tables, things along those lines. But not anything that's related to food service, serving the food.
Thank you, Ron, for all that information.
Thank you, Pat. Just to add, I don't know how many of you here were in the dining room last night, but the dining room was exceptionally crowded last night. It had a full house. It looked like it was pre-COVID as far as the people were concerned, the amount of people were concerned. And certainly, I think we all feel the same way when the gratitude that we should show to the directors who make some of these things happen. They're staying and they're helping serving food, and this cannot continue. We're going to wear them all out. So hopefully the wait staff that is in the transition period of coming in, having background checks, will alleviate some of the directors having to also act as waiters. But in the meantime, they have certainly done an outstanding job making sure that we are all keeping and being fed. Thank you, Ron, and please express that to your staff.
Yeah, and I would just add on to that. They're all happy to do it. None of them are being forced to do it. So they're all happy to be there and serving you.
But they also all have families at home.
They're very good at it.
And they're very good at it, that's right. Yeah. Thank you, Pat.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. And if anybody wants to come up and give me their name afterwards, I'm glad to write it down.
Thank you. Now, according to our bylaws, and you've been instructed as far as people who were nominated for next year's council, I'm going to ask Bill Koenig to continue with his He was the chairperson of the nominating election committee. Bill, please give us the results.
Want me to do it with the microphone?
Bill, why not come up here?
Okay. Everyone here okay? The nominating committee came up with the following nominations, which were delivered at the last meeting. The president would be George Kempner, for vice president Don Huffmeister, treasurer Wayne Schweifler, secretary Bob Wintery, member at large for wellness Beverly Adair, member at large for scholarship Judy Barna, member at large for building and grounds Angela Ficht, member at large for dining services Pat Niemeyer, and member at large for special events Margot Schweifler. Since there were no further nominations from the floor or by contacting the nominating committee, the slate of officers that I just announced, I would like to get a vote to signify by saying aye to accept all of these as your new officers for next term. Aye. Okay, motion is passed. Thank you.
Well, there weren't any nays, were there?
I didn't hear any.
They were all afraid they'd have to come on the committee. And I'd like for Margot and Judy and Don to please stand up. They are the three new council members who will be joining us. Thank you for your participation. We appreciate it. Cheryl, you want to take this microphone?
Yeah.
I've asked Cheryl to say, she asked me if she could say a few words about the gallery photos.
Good morning, everyone. We only have a few new people here, I think, that have not yet had their picture taken for the gallery wall out here in the hall. Marjorie Amity has been placing calls this week trying to reach all of the people that are on the telephone list that are not yet on the wall. We're not having a lot of success reaching them, and she's going to continue for another couple of days. But Saturday morning from 10 to noon up in the north lobby where the pool table is, Marjorie and I are going to be there taking portraits. So if there's anyone that needs an additional photo made, maybe you don't like the one that's on the wall, we can certainly squeeze you into the schedule. But if you have any new neighbors, please pass the information along and suggest that they come to the north lobby between 10 and noon this Saturday. We're upstairs and have their photo made. Anybody have any questions?
Where upstairs?
It's in the north lobby. It's where the pool table is. Yes.
Brand new, second floor of the north lobby.
And that's Saturday?
That is Saturday,
At
yes.
what time?
Between 10 and 12.
We have a blue background.
And it's a blue background, correct?
Any other questions? Thank you.
Are there any other general questions that you'd like to ask or comments that you would like to make? Now's your chance. Yes, Bill?
George, I'd like to make a comment about the thrift store. The thrift store will be having another raffle. We've got 3 neat items coming up. You'll get information in your mailboxes soon. But tickets will be on sale Friday at the thrift shop and at the FYI meeting next week after the meeting in the back. You'll see there's pictures of the items on the information that you'll be receiving, but essentially It's a pair of earrings, diamonds and rubies, a cribbage board, which is ivory, and there is, Wayne, help me out with it. A ring, yes, a very large ring with gemstones, sterling silver, and the raffle will be for the choice of one of those three. So you really helped us out last time. Also, the tickets for the drawing are redeemable at the thrift store after the drawing for any merchandise that you may want. So, thank you.
And what's that old saying? Support our thrift store. Anyone else with any questions or comments? We thank you again for coming. Hopefully you all have a great Thanksgiving, whether you're having it here or somewhere else. But happy Thanksgiving to you all.
FYI.
And don't forget, the FYI meeting is a week from tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here at 10:30 next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow. Yes, wondering?
Where does the money from this thrift store go?
Where does the money for the thrift store go, Bill?
Okay, the proceeds, 100% go back to the employees. We have a deal where 90% of it goes to the year-end gift fund for the employees, 10% goes into the scholarship fund, and that happens all year. So every month we make a remittance to the council treasurer for 100% of the proceeds, which will all go back to the employees. Thank you.
So that's another good reason to support the thrift store. Anything else? Again, thank you for coming. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you.
And you probably got one in your